Hey everybody, it's Jane.
And Mike.
From Earth Care Farm. We're here, it's peak summer, and we wanted to talk a little bit about weeding strategies. Anything you wanted to talk about before I get going?
No, weeds are fantastic. There's lots of perspectives on weeds.
Very true, very true. What I was going to talk about was, this is our home garden, which we have very little time for, and started to get overrun with weeds about a month ago. And I was running out of time and started to feel that like exasperated feeling of like, I'm never going to be able to catch up, and just like, maybe I just let it go. And then I sat down, took a breath, and I decided each day I'm going to weed 2 rows. And we have probably 40 rows in here. Right. And I thought, maybe I'll catch up by the end. I don't know, here we are, just a couple weeks later, and the whole garden was weeded.
Yes.
And now I feel like I can keep up with it. So it was like a really good lesson for me in just take a little bite, like get going.
One step at a time.
Yep, and it's so gratifying to that instant gratifying of the weeding happening. Yeah. I was gonna show you my 2 favorite tools for weeding. This is called a hori knife. Good for when you get those dandelions or something a little more persistent. Actually, fennel has become a bit of a weed here, and I can dig that out. Again, weed, just something growing where you don't want it. Could be anything.
It's from our human perspective. Like I said, it's fascinating, the plants. I read a book by Fuoco, I think his name was, called The One Straw Revolution.
Great book.
He was a farmer in Japan, and he really didn't weed, but he had a very special relationship. There are times when the weeds will be competing for the nutrients when you have too many weeds, but there are so many perspectives on it. I also read a book once called Weeds and What They Tell Us. I think the author was Pfeiffer, and women that were herbalists used to gather ancient weeds that probably have more nutrition than what we plant.
Yeah.
And ages ago they were doing that. There was a thing called the Holy Inquisition, where women would get killed for gathering healthy plants.
Looked like witchcraft?
Yeah, witchcraft. They got the Holy Inquisition. Nothing holy about the Holy Inquisition, but there was women who had intuitively knew the plants that would help heal us, and they're everywhere.
Oh, that's kind of a cool segue, because I wasn't going to talk about this, but there's a lot of plants in this garden that look like weeds that I have kept after weeding.
Yeah.
There's one right in front of us called borage, and it's an amazing little edible flower that the bumblebees adore. And we just had a giant rainstorm, so the bumblebees are all not here right now, but this is a great plant that you just pick the little flower like this. Whoops. I'm doing it with one hand here. And then you just eat it. Has like a mild little cucumber flavor.
Yeah.
I love it. But there's a lot of things that look like weeds in here that are intentional. Maybe I'm a little bit of a witch.
Well, no, I mean, that's a good witchcraft. I mean, it's the weeds like purslane and lamb's quarter, they have more nutrition in them than the spinach and lettuce we grow.
Yeah.
So it's all a matter of our human perspective. But
yeah.
But in the meantime, it's nice to keep a tidy garden.
Yeah, tidy-ish. And then this is my other favorite tool, the scuffle hoe. My fave. It just is. Want to hold my hori
Sure.
there? It just is a simple tool that I use the tool, not my weight. It saves my back. I think like from many years of gardening, I try to bend over as little as possible now. So this is a tool that really helps me with that. I want to show you one other field, another weeding technique we have. Anything you want to add before we pop over there?
No.
Okay. All right, let's go.
But it's looking great.
Yeah, it's coming along.
It's
tomato season's happened. We're starting to eat tomatoes, which is joyful.
And some plants are in symbiotic relationships. So something like clover is a legume, and it is not necessarily a weed. When you see your clover growing in places, it's helping some of your other crops.
Yeah. We've got lots of thyme here, which is an amazing plant for bringing in pollinators. Lots of creeping thyme and for the pathways. So let's pop over to the garden down there.
All right.
So here we are in one of our fields where the garlic was just pulled about a week ago. And it looks overwhelming with weeds. And it's one of those things you can feel exasperated, or you could think you need to till, which we haven't tilled in 7 years or so, or I think 9 actually. Or we have a method. We use a silage tarp, it's called, just a black tarp. We put it over the field there, and it really effectively kills the weeds in a short amount of time, just a few days when it's this hot out. So finding the little techniques to keep the overwhelm at bay.
Yeah.
It's a good translation for life too.
Yeah. You're doing a good job, but you know, when you have the soil doesn't really want to be bare, I don't think.
No, not at all.
You know, so the plants are just going to naturally grow, and we have to accept that. But when they go to seed, it can get a little bit out of control.
Yeah. So we're going to show you that this looks a little out of control, but I know it will be under control really quickly. We'll show you the tarp down there, and then we'll show you where we just moved the tarp off, so you can get a picture of all three. Okay. Here we are. You can see our silage tarp is down. We just had a big thunderstorm come through, and it was pretty windy, so this part just blew off, and I can see that it's been nice and solarized here. No more weeds under there. A question did just come up about whether or not this is a biodegradable plastic. Unfortunately, it is not, but this is the 5th season that we've used it, so it is reusable. And we're going to show you another field where we've actually solarized the whole field, so you can kind of see what that looks like too.
You know, I know a lot of people take a little offense for plastic, but this plastic is a lot less harmful to the soil life than herbicides that would kill billions and bazillions of microorganisms. So solarizing is a healthier form to go than, sometimes you have to pick the lesser of the two evils.
Yep, and I don't have the time to weed it by hand. That'd be ideal. So here we are at a field where we did solarize recently. You can see it almost looks like straw. It's cover crop that we solarized, and I've already seeded, what did I seed, Dad? Buckwheat in here. And we're trying to keep the ground covered with plants as much as possible. So as soon as we solarize something, we want to plant something else. As soon as we pull up the garlic, we want to plant something else. So that's what we're working towards.
Buckwheat is a summer cover crop. It will die with the frost, but it's great to plant this time of year.
It's also great because we have our honeybees right here, and they love buckwheat. So it makes a nice honey, a dark honey.
Yeah.
And behind us is our hedgerow of elderberries, which is looking amazing this year. It's laden with berries. So yeah, I highly recommend elderberry for your gardens.
The birds get them before you do?
I mean, we share. Yeah, there's plenty.
A lot of abundance.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add, Poppy?
No, I think you're doing a great job.
We're chipping away at it. It's very part-time farming here.
I love the farm. I'm in the sunset of my physical life, and I'm going to be one with this farm forever.
I'm so glad. All right. Thank you, everybody.